There are so many surprising things in the book, but the thing that surprised me the most, that I actually had to reread it because I said, is this true?
Right.
Was that in 2016, you and Will decided that you were going to live completely separate lives.
Yes.
It was not a divorce on paper,
right,
but it was a divorce.
The fact that Jada and Will have been able to keep this hidden and pretend for so long is unsurprising when we consider their deceptive red table talk. This talk exposes their personalities. In this video, we look at clips from the new interview with Jada and compare them to the red table talk. If you like the video, click the like button and make sure you're subscribed for more videos. Welcome aboard.
So from the year 2016, which is 7 years ago now,
yes,
y'all have been apart.
Jada and Will's marriage is a cautionary tale. It teaches us to be aware of deceptive language. Jada's laughter is her latest tactic in trying to make people empathize with her. However, can she laugh it off? It shows us that she doesn't take what she and Will said in the red table talk seriously, and thus doesn't take her audience seriously. The first thing she did was trying to avoid accountability by euphemizing the affair she had, or whatever we should call it now.
I think you need to say clearly what happened.
As far as what?
You and I decided we were going to take our space, and what happened?
Yeah, and then I got into an entanglement with August. That's what I said.
An entanglement?
Yes. Yes.
A relationship?
Yes, it was a relationship, absolutely. I was in a lot of pain, and I was very broken. Started a friendship with August, and we actually became really, really good friends. And it all started with him just needing some help, you know, me wanting to help his health, his mental state.
It's important to note that Jada is serious when she uses the word entanglement. It's only when Will starts laughing that she joins him in laughing. Will laughs because entanglement is an extreme euphemism. So initially, she actually thinks she can get away with using this distancing noun. When she finds out she can't, she parrots Will's word relationship, as if entanglement and relationship are one and the same, and as if she's suddenly unashamed to admit this. She continues to portray herself in the best light possible, as she portrays herself as a helper, someone who wanted to help August with his health. However, when people talk long enough, they always tell on themselves, and later on, Jada doesn't mind telling Will exactly why she had the affair.
You know, as time went on, I got into a different kind of entanglement with August.
I launched into an interaction with August. What do you feel like you were looking for?
I just wanted to feel good. It had been so long since I felt good.
What's the presupposition here? It's presupposed that Will didn't make her feel good, and Jada's drawn-out speech and firm eye contact indicate that she's very comfortable saying this. Her body language is a statement. She then proceeds with a pseudo-psychoanalysis of herself, something that's very popular among people who want to evade responsibility.
And it was really a joy to just help heal somebody.
Yeah.
I think that has a lot to do with my codependency, which is another thing that I had to learn to break in this cycle of just that idea of needing to fix and being drawn to people that need help, whether it's your health or whether it's your addictions. There's something about that childhood trauma that feels as though it can be fixed through fixing people versus fixing me.
Yeah.
In this type of context, people criticize themselves for self-interest, to portray themselves in a more favorable light. Hiding behind psychological terms is also a way to convince oneself of the alleged reasons for one's actions, even though these reasons might not be true at all. With words like learn and needed to fix, she turns this conversation into a therapy session centered around her personal development. She says being drawn to people that need help. This is passive voice, removing agency from her. Instead, she's simply being drawn. How convenient. Jada and Will were busy declaring that their love and marriage could overcome anything, and they use pompous language in these declarations.
You know, and I'm just happy because I definitely believe that you and we never, ever, ever thought that we would make it back.
Yeah, there's a real power in the just knowing somebody's riding with you no matter what?
It's just part of it.
Yeah.
You know, if you expect to be with somebody for a lifetime.
25 years and counting.
We ride together.
We die together.
Bad marriage for life.
You thought I was that I didn't have the girth that it was going to take to ride with you through.
Yeah, I didn't know if you would be willing to find the deep capacity to love me.
Yeah.
All of these clips make Jada and Will look not only unreliable, but also deceptive. Their pretentious language and emotional appeals are all signs of deception. And I think there's a lesson to be learned here. That oftentimes, people who are the most vocal about the love they feel towards someone else are overcompensating. They actually don't feel the strong emotions they're conveying, which is why they feel the need to state them publicly in the first place. That's why Jada can't laugh it off. She and Will made statements that weren't true, and they hid information. The red table talk was a calculating stunt in order to stay relevant. With this knowledge, let's return to the new excerpts.
So how long have you guys been together?
23 years.
Wow. That's amazing. How do you keep it hot?
How do I keep it hot? Maybe I don't know. I mean, I'm baffled, really.
Yeah, right.
Now we know that there was nothing to keep hot. So I believe her when she says she doesn't know. But being applauded for a good marriage feels a lot better than the truth.
I feel like you're a straight talker,
I am.
except you're not sometimes.
Yeah.
This is a study in double talk. First of all, what's Hoda's statement even supposed to mean? She praises Jada for being a straight talker, but then says she's not. And the most interesting thing, Jada agreeing to both. So which is it? Keeping her pretentious language and unreliable arguments from the red table talk in mind, Jada is anything but a straight talker.
So why do that? Like, what was the reason?
I think just not being ready yet. Still trying to figure out between the two of us
Yeah.
how to be in partnership, right?
With right, she's asking, not stating, so she doesn't sound convinced of this highly convenient conclusion herself. With her pretentious language about partnership and emotional appeal about not being ready, she hasn't changed since the red table talk. Not being ready, she says, which doesn't answer the question at all, because no one forced them to participate in the red table talk. They chose to do it. They chose to give people a false impression of their marriage. But as always with Jada, there's no accountability.
And in regards to how do we present that to people, you know? And we hadn't figured that out.
The expression "you know" is an appeal to shared knowledge, as if Hoda knows what Jada is talking about, even though Jada hasn't made much or anything clear. Her utterances are incomplete and she hesitates. Appealing to shared knowledge is a way to avoid having to explain yourself. And the most striking thing about Jada's behavior, the way she looks at Hoda to see if she's spying it. Also, this kind of eye contact tells us that Jada enjoys the attention.
Why did the relationship fracture?
Oh, well, why it fractured, that's a lot of things.
Yeah.
And I think by the time we got to 2016, we were just exhausted with trying.
A lot of things. Such a great and specific answer. But things are about to get even better.
I think we were both kind of still stuck in our fantasy of what we thought the other person should be.
This sounds a lot like the pseudo-psychoanalysis she did in the Red Table talk, and given her unreliable track record, this doesn't sound like the real reason at all. The real reason has to do with their personalities and what they value in life, but that would be too honest for them to admit. Jada has always been intentionally vague when it comes to taking blame.
I feel like it's healing that needs to happen. And I know there's a lot of stuff going on in the world right now.
Yeah.
Even though this is minuscule, I do feel like it's these kinds of things that create the world that we're in. And the idea of not communicating, not talking about it, not clearing the air, and just being as transparent. Just being transparent.
Considering that this problem is minuscule, Jada sure is kind to even mention it. With the noun healing, she doesn't define what she means, and needs to happen is devoid of agency, meaning there's no mention of who needs to heal or who should initiate the healing. Again, Jada speaks in general terms that don't hold her accountable. Likewise, she doesn't say who neglected the communicating or who should have cleared the air. There's no agency. And Jada sure doesn't like to talk about her wrongdoings, or whatever we should call them at this point.
So we come into the red table. So I'm in the Jada position right now. So,
Okay.
you know, you during that time launched into an interaction with August. What do you feel like you were looking for?
Jada doesn't mirror Will's playful behavior with her serious facial expression while saying,
Oh, you know,
she achieves two things. She lets Will know that she doesn't find it funny, and she gives him a hint to tone down what he's about to say. This linguistic element and her facial expression show that she's somewhat nervous for what's about to follow.
I made a promise that there will never be a reason for us to get a divorce. We will work through whatever. And I just haven't been able to break that promise.
Music, please.
I made a promise that there will never be a reason for us to get a divorce. We will work through whatever. And I just haven't been able to break that promise.
But you still live separately.
We live separately.
Even Hoda didn't buy Jada's desperate attempt to sound honorable. Jada has a pattern of self-serving, deceptive speech behavior. This makes what she says in interviews and in her book very unreliable. See you next time.